Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids, and this video is being recorded with the Kodak PlayTouch with the Sony clone microphone installed. This is my sort of product tour and brief review of the Dell XPS 15 laptop. Now I've only got this laptop for a very short period of time, so it's not going to be a full review, there's not going to be any follow-up. I wanted to just share with you what you can get for your money from the likes of a company like Dell. Now the XPS 15 is one of their sort of higher end laptops. This is a little accessory pack that comes with it, and inside this little accessory pack we've got a setup guide. We've also got a software license agreement, some safety information. Now this setup guide is well worth just giving you a quick look in here. It just talks you through all the controls on the laptop and really get you up and running with the whole sort of experience on Windows 7, which is what's pre-installed on this particular machine. So let's pop this back into the pack. It's very well presented. Round the back of this pack we get a little sleeve here, and inside here we've got some information on setting up and using 3D TV, NVIDIA 3D TV FAQ sheet, some important information, and then drivers and utilities. There's no Windows 7 restore discs included. You have to sort of make those when you first switch on the computer. Now also in the pack you do get a charger. This is what the charging brick looks like. It's got a long cable that plugs into it as well with a 3-pin UK plug. It's a multi-voltage adapter, so this will work in all different countries. You just have to purchase an additional cable if you're travelling abroad. It's also got this rubber sort of piece around it, and that will help keep the cable nice and tidy when it's not in use. Now onto the laptop itself. As I said, this is a Core i5 laptop. The processor speed is 2.53 GHz. It comes with Windows 7 Home Premium 64-bit pre-installed on here, and it's got a 1 GB NVIDIA GeForce GT 420M graphics card. So it's got 1 GB of dedicated graphics memory. Now at the time of Dell sending this through to me, this particular model is going to cost you £679, including shipping and VAT, and for that price you get the pre-mentioned processor specification, you also get that NVIDIA graphics card, you get 4 GB of RAM and a 640 GB hard drive. Now on the side of the machine you do get a optical drive, so this is a DVD and CD reader writer, writes at 8 speed, DVD plus, DVD minus, DVD rewritables, so that's really good. You've also got a headphone output. We've got a second headphone output which also acts as a digital optical out as well. We've also got microphone input. This little port here is an eSATA port, but it also acts as a USB port as well, so it's like a dual port. If I go round to the back of the machine, we have got a mini display port connector here for connecting to a monitor. We've also got HDMI out and an Ethernet connection, which supports up to gigabyte speeds. Along this side here we have got a input here for the power supply. This is for charging the battery or running it off of mains power. We've got a USB 3 port, which is really cool, and then we've also got a Kensington lock port there. And then last but not least on this side we've got another USB 3 port and some vents for ventilation. Now on the back of the machine there are a couple of LED lights here. If I just show you a close-up of those, this is for battery power and also hard disk activity. And then in this corner here, if I bring this into view, this is a little sort of sleep light that pulsates when it's in sort of hibernate mode, and so that's all really nice. Now construction wise, let's just take a look at this top, give you a close-up look at this. This is a brushed aluminium, so this is metal. It's cool to the touch. Some parts of it, I'm not 100% sure, but this front part of the lid feels like it might be plastic, and that's probably to let the Wi-Fi signal through. I would anticipate that the aerial is sort of underneath this plastic cover. It has got 802.11n Wi-Fi, should mention that as well. Round onto the bottom of the laptop, this is where the battery resides. It's actually got a 6-cell battery in at the moment. You can get an optional 9-cell, which does protrude from the bottom of the laptop when it's installed. This is a user accessible cover. This gains you access to various components, including the memory, battery lock switch for changing the battery, and then this is the subwoofer, and I'll show you the inside of the computer and tell you why that's important. This has got awesome sound, and I mean really, really good sound on it. JBL subwoofer, and just a pleasure to listen to the sound on this laptop. Now, I mentioned about that subwoofer on the base of the laptop, and that complements these two stereo speakers that flank either side of the keyboard. The JBL sound on this laptop is absolutely awesome. Even at low volumes, the sound is absolutely brilliant. Now, the keyboard, let's cover off the keyboard first of all. It's a full-size keyboard, very flat design to it, chiclet style keys, and I must say that when you're typing, let me just close this message down that's come up on screen, but when you're actually typing, it's got a very sort of plasticky sound to it. So although it's quite a firm feedback, it just feels clanky, so not a very nice keyboard in my opinion, but well spaced and very easy to type on. The trackpad, very nice trackpad, and probably one of the best I've experienced on a Windows PC based laptop. It's a nice large trackpad. It supports multi-touch, so you can navigate around your screen with one finger, for example, and then if you want to scroll through web pages, you can use 2 fingers on it. The left and right mouse buttons, or trackpad buttons I should say, again, a nice size, nice and responsive, but they feel just a bit plasticky again, and not a very positive feel when you push it. It just feels a little bit loose. But that said, it's one of the better trackpads I've experienced on a Windows based laptop. Covering off this section here, we've got some LED feedback lights here, and then we've got 3 sort of touch panel buttons here. And let me just move the camera up to give you a look at the screen. You have to ignore what's on my screen in the background. Let's just concentrate on the Dell screen for me. We have got these 3 touch keys here. If I push the first one, it brings up the Windows Mobility Center, and this gives you access to display brightness, mute, battery details, wireless details, etc. So really nice sort of quick access to some important features there. Then this next one along, if we touch that, that brings up the Dell Instant Launch Manager. Now I've got nothing configured to that at the moment, but I could configure, for example, my email client to that particular button. Let's close that down, and then the last one along is the Dell Audio Center by Realtek, and this allows you to adjust the speaker volume, microphone volume, and also some extra audio settings as well. So 3 quick access buttons that are touch sensitive in this area here. Now, concentrating on the screen, is a really nice screen on this one. It's a 1366 by 768 resolution, so it handles 720p very nicely. You can, as an option, upgrade this to a 1920 by 1080 screen, but my opinion is it on a 15-inch screen, that resolution is going to be very high indeed. You can get away with it, but I opted for the lower res screen for this particular review model. What you can see on the screen at the top here, just to let you know, this is the Dell dock, and it's something that comes supplied on their laptops now. Gives you quick access to various applications, and it's really nice. Seems to sort of replicate the dock that you might be used to on Mac OS X, and it's got some nice features and seems to work really well. Performance wise, let me just crank open this and get some properties up about the computer, and we can see the Windows Experience Index score here. It's got an overall score of 4.6. Let me get some extra information up on the screen for you. Calculations per second, 6.9. So the processor is a very high score. This is out of a possible 7.9, by the way. Memory score's 5.9, so lets it down a little bit. Desktop performance for graphics, 4.6. 3D graphics performance, very good, 6.5. And then a disk data transfer rate, so the primary hard disk is scoring 5.9. Now, always in these Windows Experience indexes, the base score represents the lowest overall score. So it's not an average score, it just represents the lowest one, which happens to be 4.6. But overall, good graphics experience on this, very good performance, and the processor does really well too for things like gaming and everyday tasks such as video editing and photo editing as well. So brilliant performance. We've also got an HD webcam up the top here. Now I believe this HD webcam that's built in, it's flanked by a little microphone as well. I think it's a 2 megapixel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a 2 megapixel webcam, so it's a very nicely featured laptop overall. This is the Dell XPS 15 Core i5 2.53 GHz, and as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, 15-inch LCD monitor there, 4 GB of RAM and a 640 GB hard drive, and that 1 GB dedicated video card really boosts the performance on this laptop, which at the moment is coming in at £679 including delivery. So a good laptop from Dell. It's not going to make me switch from the Mac, but I wanted to bring you this very quick video on it. If you're in the market for a Windows based laptop, then this one is well worth checking out. It's a little bit heavy, but you often have to compromise performance for weight with Windows laptops, but it's well made, feels very robust, and certainly one of the better Windows based laptops I've tested. Well, thanks very much for watching. This has been Dave from Geekanoids. Please do come back soon and check out more video reviews on the Geekanoids channel. This video review is sponsored by EasyDraw, making drawing fun on Mac OS X.